my littles. Let's get you fed, my babies. Oops. These are the quail, y'all. Running a little bit behind today, having to help somebody earlier. All right, my babies. Come on, littles. You guys leave any eggs today? Huh? Good girls. Thank you. Thank you, girls. Thank you, my babies. Five eggs, y'all. All right, babies. Hang on. We got 2 minutes. Hey, my big boy. Come on. You hungry? Come on. You guys hungry? Yes, I know. Showing off so pretty. Yes, I know. I'm running a little bit late today, ain't she? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Hang on, girls. Hang on, baby. Yes, sir. I hear you. All right, baby. Come on. Come here. All right, here you go. Thank you, girls. Appreciate that. That was cool. Thank you. All right. I'll get you right there. Yes, sir. I'm getting it next. 2 eggs on these. Okay, y'all. Now we're going to pick our greens to go with supper tonight, because I'm going to turn these into our imitation poke salad for down here. This will go good with our chicken this evening. As you saw that we picked out, I'm going with the Mediterranean dish. So, just taking you basically on a day of my life on the farm and the things that I am getting done today, partially. You're not seeing everything. We also had to go help a lady with her storage building this morning. And then I ended up coming home and doing my farm work a little late today, so they were a bit anxious for food. I kind of don't blame them. Now I got to turn around and pick the greens for supper tonight, and that's basically what we're going to be doing right now. Alright y'all, so we have been out on the farm today. Starting this morning, we started doing preserving for our garlic, making up some more garlic powder for our seasonings for the winter. I end up doing some farm work today. I help somebody with their storage. We end up having to cut up some greens from the garden, and now we are going to prepare supper. And it is going Mediterranean tonight, and basically low carb as well. So let's go in the kitchen today and let's make something good. Alright y'all, so tonight we are going to prepare, as you've seen, we went in the garden, we had the turnips, and I'm actually going to be turning those into mock poke salad for dinner tonight, and we're going to serve that with a Mediterranean braised chicken, mushrooms, poblano peppers with pomegranate molasses. This is actually a lot of flavors. The poblano peppers are coming from the garden, to which we froze. And these are our peppers. We have our fresh picked, these are about last year's stock, but our bay leaves. And these were given to me from a lady here in our town. I have our canned mushrooms, which we were going to use in here. We have our own canned chicken broth or bone broth that we're going to be using, and my own homemade rendered down pomegranate molasses, which I did a video on this. All this is just reduced down to a thick syrup, pomegranate juice you find in the produce section over at Walmart. So it's a beautiful, the flavor to this is amazing. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to be using some chicken thighs. I'm going to set us up and we are going to get ready to start cooking. Okay, we are going to first start with our seasoning. We pat our chicken dry. So we're going to go ahead and start seasoning these. I'm sorry if the TV is loud, you all. Not meaning for that. Some of you I know have had issues with that. Let me see if I can go ahead and get this to turn down a little bit. Okay, y'all. So now I'm first going to season this with salt. I'm going to go under the skin as to where most of the meat, or that's where most of the seasoning's going to be going, because we don't always eat the skin, honestly. So I'm going to be using underneath these skins. And we want more of the flavor into our meat than we want okay. Okay, and then one more. All right, so let me go ahead and get this started, and now we're going to take our seasoning mixes, and I'm going to come right back and tell you what kind of mixes we're going to do and what we're going to do with it. Okay, so this recipe is coming from the Mediterranean Dish Cookbook. I will share this recipe with you. I just wanted you to know where it's coming from, and this meal was served 4 to 8. It requires, now we're only using 5, but it says to use 6 to 8 chicken thighs. And we are going to be adding 2 teaspoons of dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1/3 or 3/4 teaspoon of allspice, a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And so now we took all these together, and now I'm going to season my chicken on both sides. Again, we want to flavor our chicken underneath the skin. This is where I have learned that, and it works. It honestly works. I get more flavor in the meat now than I've ever known. So I always flavor underneath my skins. And we're going to use all of this seasoning to put this on our chicken. And what's left will go on the skin. And we're going to go ahead and do this. and then cover it that way. And then we're going to go on this one, turn both of these over, do the back side, just like so. And then we're going to set this aside, right, just like that. Oops. Turn this one over, do the back side of it. There we go. And now we're just going to take the rest of our seasoning, because we got it all seasoned on the meat. We're going to just rub this onto the skins of each of these, because we don't have a whole lot left. Just like so. Turn this over. There we go. And then finish that off. So now we're going to set this aside for the moment, and we're going to go over here to our pan. We are going to actually cook this in our pan first before we pop this in the oven. Okay, so it calls for shallots, but on this homestead I improvise. If I don't have the shallots, I'm using onion. So just know that you can substitute. The only difference between an onion and a shallot is a shallot is a lot milder, and it would not have such an oniony flavor to this dish. But I am actually using a sweet onion, so we're going to improvise. This is what it does on the pantry challenge. I use what I have. I look at my recipe. Do I have this in the homestead? And when I go through my inventory, I find I do, and then I take and make my dish. And I could still do it Mediterranean style and still be able to enjoy my meal, because it's what I love. To be very honest, we've been doing Mediterranean for a while, and like today, the lady that I was working with, bless her heart, I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and she went and bought me lunch. And it was a small little McDonald's burger. I kind of haven't had McDonald's in almost 2 years. So she gave me the burger, and like I said, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I ate it. But y'all, within a half hour later, I was sick to my stomach. So my body just definitely was not used to that kind of food no more. And I guess that's a good thing. But whew, boy, that was rough. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm chopping these up because the recipe says to use, let's see, how many shallots does she have in there? 8 medium shallots, and they were halved. So I'm kind of just coarsely chopping this onion. And we will be right back so I can get the rest of these ingredients, and we're going to start shimmering these into olive oil, and we're going to saute them up. You saw me earlier this morning using this so that I could dehydrate my garlic with it, and it was actually done on the sliced mode so that I could dehydrate them. This little device actually came from Walmart. It's kind of cool. I can either slice it or I can mince. It's hard to see, but I can mince my garlic with this little press. I think I got this thing about 2 years ago, and I've kept it ever since. It makes great work when I do my garlic, when I do bulk. This thing here has been amazing. I believe in working smarter, not harder. So yeah, it's mainstays, garlic slicer and chopper. So I actually have to mince about 10 cloves of garlic. So I just got this little thing out, and it's got a little tray. So we're just going to go ahead and chop that up just like so. Like that, and just pop it through, and then it just minces up my garlic. Basically, it chops it. It's not really minced, but it just makes it so much easier. As you saw, this is all I do, and just pop it through. Some of these garlic presses, I've yet to find a good one where it doesn't just mash my garlic and it actually gives me a good press. As far as minced garlic, I really have been struggling finding a good one. So in the meantime, I'm using this. I don't mind a nice chunk garlic. I love garlic. Me and my husband both. So I'm just going to do it this way, and we'll be right back. Alright, my family, let's get some color and some scent to this beautiful pan here. We've got a 1/4 cup of olive oil over medium-high heat. We've got it shimmering right here. So we're going to add our onions or shallots, whatever you decide to use. We're going to add our garlic. And watch it so that your garlic does not burn. Any garlic that burns is really bitter. So we just want to, if it starts getting to the point it's getting too fast and cooking that garlic, you want to back down your heat. Oh, if you could smell, my goodness. I love Mediterranean just because of the way it smells every time I cook. And now we're going to add some of our poblano peppers. Now mine is still frozen, so it's going to cool this down a bit. And it was already pre-chopped, so we need exactly, on the poblanos, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and add enough that would give me 2 poblano peppers. There we go. That's good. And like I said, this is still kind of frozen, so it'll kind of de-ice in my pan. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And this is the first time I actually got poblanos to actually grow this year, so it's really nice to have this in my dish. Farm fresh. We are definitely going to get the seeds for this too. Which reminds me, after New Year's, we are going to get ready to sit down and do our seed haul talk. We're going to find out what this family, what we're wanting to do for this coming up season. And we, toward the middle of January, are getting ready. And I will let you know what we are going to do on making our seed hauls. So we're getting ready to order about toward the second week of the last 2 weeks of January. I'll get it out. So we're going to go ahead and get this simmered through, and once this is finished, we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so our vegetables are now tender, and we are going to add our next ingredients. We need 2 cups of chicken broth, which I'm using my 1 pint, and that usually comes out to be about 2 cups in here. I now need our pomegranate molasses, and we'll use 3 tablespoons of it. And yes, this is homemade pomegranate molasses. You can order it, but I don't when I can make it myself. Comes out a lot cheaper. And it'll last in my fridge. We'll be adding more of this in a bit. And then I need to add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Ah. And my daughter-in-law used the rest of this can in her meal coming up, so that she's making. So none of this will go to waste. We'll just share that 1 can because I only needed this much anyways. Now I'm going to stir this all together. Mix this up really good. Alright, we're going to bring this up to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and at this point add my bay leaves in here. Alright, we're going to add our bay leaves, and we need 2 bay leaves for this. Now I'm going to pick up my 2 best. There we go. There's our 2 bay leaves. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to a boil. Once I do that, we're going to nestle our chicken inside of our broth. Oh, y'all, this smells so good. Alright, once this comes to a boil, we will be right back. Okay, y'all, so we have our sauce now is boiling. Now I'm going to, if you have fresh mushrooms, you will have a different step to this. The instructions will be in there. Mine are already cooked, so I'm just going to go ahead and add my mushrooms to this dish. And now we're going to take our seasoned chicken, and we're going to nestle our chicken into this sauce. Excuse my arm, I had to get my tongs. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken inside this pan. Alright, right like this. I love this pan, y'all. I'm definitely thinking about getting me another one for sure. These make awesome. And see, I know I'm going to have extra servings because this is more than enough for 2 people, but I like the fact that I can have sometimes freezing a meal and I won't have to cook. All I have to do is just reheat and eat, make me maybe a side salad, and that's going to be the end of it. So now we're going to leave this on here, and we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to take this and put it in the oven uncovered with a preheated 375 degree oven for about 25-30 minutes until our chicken is cooked through. So I'm going to leave this cooking for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to transfer this. Okay, y'all, so our 5 minutes has been up. Now we're going to transfer it just like it is into the oven. I'm going to turn my heat off. And this is where we're going to allow our chicken to cook in our sauce for 25 to 30 minutes. And we're going to do that uncovered. So 25 to 30 minutes, we'll check our chicken and we'll see where we're at. Alright, y'all, we're going to work on our greens. So I had cooked the greens down. You can do that in plain water. You can actually use that in chicken broth if you want to. I just used it in water, and then we just cooked our greens down. Then I chopped them. Now I set them aside, and I am actually going to, you can choose to do one or the other. I am going to be using some bacon fat in this instead of bacon. I'm going to take about a tablespoon, because I've got about 2 cups of greens. So, and that's cooked. 2 cups cooked. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon of bacon fat in here. And we're going to render this down. And then I'm going to add my greens with some chopped onions in here. Sprinkle in some salt, and then we're going to use some scrambled eggs. And that's about all there is to this. It's really simple but really flavorful. So we're going to melt our fat down, and then we're going to add our greens. And our fat is almost rendered. And then we're going to add our greens to this. And then we're going to mix this up really good. In the meantime, I'm going to keep this on low. And then we're going to chop up some of our onions and mix that in here as well. So we'll be back, and I'll get our onions mixed up in here while we're cooking down our greens. Okay, so now we have our onions sauteed. I have scrambled eggs now that I'm going to add up in here. And then we're going to cook these eggs up inside the greens. We're going to break this up. Just like this. Turn this up just a little bit.
Yeah. I know what to do if it ain't one of our friends.
And as soon as I get this cooked up, we'll be right back. Okay, so now I got the eggs. I'm going to sprinkle with just a little bit of salt, and that's it. This is all we do, and we'll serve that with our chicken. I'm getting ready to check our chicken next and see how that turned out. In the meantime, I'm going to set this aside, keep it warm, and then we're going to work on our chicken right quick. Alright, y'all, our chicken is now done. So now at this point, I am going to take some of my fresh parsley, and we're going to cut some of this up and serve that on top of our dish. So I will come back tonight. I will plate this for you and show you what our meal will look like. Okay, y'all, we're going to go ahead and start to plate our plate. This chicken is extremely tender. So, and if I wanted to, I can also serve this with a side salad. I'm going to take that. We're going to put our greens on here as well. Just like so. The guys are home from work, y'all, so that's why we're go ahead and start setting up our dishes. You probably hear them in the background, and I am so sorry. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this sauce because we have our mushrooms all on here as well. Take all our goodness and top it off. Sprinkle this with some parsley, and that is it. So let me swing this around and we'll show you our dish. And there we go, y'all. That is supper for tonight, and I hope you enjoyed this. I will put the recipe in the description box below. We love you dearly, and until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage.